Hey, family. Hello. How's everybody? Thank you so much for being here. Can you hear me? Oh, no, you cannot. Or maybe you can, but I don't have my mic hooked up properly. So let me do that. Let's see. Yes. Can you hear me? Nalutando, can you hear me? Warm greetings to you. If you can hear me, can you please put a 1 in the chat? Hello, if you guys can hear me, can you please put a 1 in the chat? No one can hear me? Okay, great. You can hear me. Thank you for letting me know. So how's everyone? I had a late night and I just decided to not postpone the podcast and to come on. So I'm podcasting while tired. I don't think that there is. Thank you, Dinah. Thank you, Sharon. I don't think there's a penalty for that. Hopefully everything goes to plan. I'm so excited to see you guys all here. And again, thinking about this butterfly, right? So before we get started, how are you guys? Where are you streaming from? I don't want to just dive in. How's everybody doing today? And where are you streaming from? And also, can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, can you please let me know? There's a picture of Meghan in a green dress and standing next to Harry. I prepared some slides today. We're going to have some class time, so hopefully you can bear with that. Canada. Okay, Sharon's in Canada. See the Canadian flag and the maple leaves. Wonderful. I'm streaming from the Bay in California, Northern California. It's a cluster of cities: San Francisco, Oakland, Albany, Berkeley, so many cities. So I'm streaming from the Bay. Okay, great. Is everybody feeling okay today? Thank you so much for saying that. Hi, Sharon, and thank you for saying that you appreciate my support. I work really hard, and it's because I've wanted to do this work for so long, and I made a commitment that if I was going to do it, I was going to try and improve every single time. And so that's what I'm doing. Virginia Beach in the house. Okay. How are you guys feeling over there about Kendrick? Should I ask that question? We're going to be talking we're going to be doing some intersecting conversations today. I made some slides to continue with this butterfly theme. And, we've talked in other podcasts about Cat Williams setting this year off. He said it was going to be the reckoning, and that looks to me what's happening. I got on YouTube this morning for a few minutes and saw the British media, or UK media, trying to backtrack on some of their vitriol and saying, asking the question, do we really need them? And looking like they want that to be a thing. And I'm like, what? Knowing that the paperwork that Meghan sent in recently got lost, and I have to send in paperwork to the state just like that. It's a fee between $150 and $200 depending on your license, and So that was wild that, they couldn't afford that the narrative was going to be they couldn't afford, dinner for four at a, regular restaurant in Santa Barbara, which doesn't make any sense at all. So now they're trying to make a turn because I think that they realized what they lost, Oh, another butterfly, Mariah Carey, if you guys recall. Hold on, let me turn off Alexa. Alexa, play copyright-free lo-fi music. Okay. So, yeah, so Mariah Carey's song, or was it a song? There was definitely a song, but Butterfly comes to mind today again. And so we're going to dig into that theme. We're going to continue digging into the theme of the butterfly. And I hope you guys will throw some comments on there. You generally do, we keep the conversation going, and that really helps me just stay energized and know what you guys, the direction that you want to take this thing in. I appreciate you all for showing up and showing out. And I am just I am unbelievably floored and humbled by you guys just constantly showing up. It means so much. So, let's see. Should we just jump right in? What do you guys want to do? Do you want to just jump right into the content? I prepared a few different slides, right? So we'll do this one again. Some people were in the room last night when we went over this black wife effect. So if you've been on TikTok, and I'm on YouTube and I see shorts, right? And so this thing came over from TikTok, apparently called the black wife effect. And it is a theory, or the thesis is that when you get wifed up, when a non-black person gets wifed up by a black woman, that there's a kind of metamorphosis. Yeah, there we go again with that caterpillar theme that happens. And I think that the same thing happened to Harry. I think he experienced a glow up. So I did a black wife effect for our prince, Harry. So thank you, Karen. So I'm going to go through these slides that I created. Hopefully they work. And I want you to let me know if you agree with me, if there has been a transformation in Harry's appearance since being wifed up by Meghan. So here we go. Black wife effect. Uh-oh. Why are you're seeing two things on the screen? Wait, I didn't shut that off. Let me shut that off. There we go. So can you see Harry on the screen? So we have Harry on the screen, and this is Harry before Meghan. He's in a suit. His hair is just it's not herring. It's not hitting, right? It's oh gosh, Harry needs some mother or partner to love on him and take him to a barbershop. I don't know if they gave him appropriate allowance, but anyway, we'll keep going. So this is, and I'm my mother would be saying, how come his shirt is not ironed? How is the prince showing up with looking disheveled and his shirt isn't even pressed? So yeah, I was just what? So we're going to keep going. Yes, that black wife effect is everything. Next, here's Harry, still young, fresh face, skin is glowing, right? Looks like maybe he's been running or playing polo, rugby, and showered and came on over to whatever this event is. Next slide. This is Harry. I love Harry with the beard. I love him, but this is not it. This ain't it, guys. Still Harry before Meghan. All right, so we're going to move into the black wife effect and see if you like the before or the after. There's Harry after Meghan. Looking rather fit, right? Running, as I love to see him moving. And yeah, just looking like I said last night when I was doing the preview for the show, a hot buttered biscuit, right? He looks so good here. Here's another one. I love him when he's buttoning his jacket, so I looked for those kinds of photos. He's about to get busy, he's going to get down to business. So he's looking, the hair and the beard look very different from the other photo, in my mind. This This is probably my favorite one because of the swag. Like, Harry is, you can see it in his posture, you can see it in his walk. That suit is fitting. Like, you can tell that he's working out and he's looking super fit. I'm like, go Harry. This is, when for me, I know that Harry is being really loved upon by his wife, and that Harry is, to me, he looks like he could be a candidate, and I've said this before, for sexiest man alive. And the sex appeal has to do with, yeah, the haircut, yeah, the beard, yes, the suit, the shoes, the walk, the swagger. But all the things that are behind that, the love, it is the glow up of love, and a person who loves you, who's taken very good care of Harry and wants him to show up and be his best self, not just, when he's in appearance, like I said, looking like a hot buttered biscuit, right? But also his glow up based on the love that he has with his wife and that compatibility and the work that they do in that relationship, because relationships are hard. Karen says, Prince Harry has been loved up on for real. He got caught. I love his swag and the roughness. Always love him. Always my guy and my prince. Absolutely. I agree. Right? He does. Like, he looks like, I guess Meghan can be the jam. He's the hot butter biscuit. And you can put those things together and you get magic. I know those kids are also loved up on. But for Harry, he always had that, like, an appeal. But Harry loved up on, right? And so I think he should be a candidate again for sexiest man alive. And again, the sex appeal has a lot to do with the physical appearance. All those things, right? He could be easily in GQ magazine cover, like in the magazine and a cover every month. But it's also, like, for me, the most magical part of Harry right now is the glow that he has from being in a relationship with his loving wife, Meghan. And so, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So what do you guys think? Do you agree that Harry, that the black wife effect is real, and that Meghan really tailored that style and got him to come into appearing like his best self? Here's another one, buttoning that jacket. That's just my thing. Love that. Love that. And then that one. So I'll just quickly go through them one more time. Black wife effect. I think it's real. I think, yeah, it's definitely real. Harry before, and he's a young man here again. A young man here, skin is glowing. He's not very tanned here because he's living over there and not in, under the California sun. Again, Harry's got a full hair, beard, and that's not it, Harry. That look is just not it. You need to be loved on, And though he's smiling, I could say more about that. I won't. But here, like, someone said James Bond, right? He could definitely do that. He could definitely be like a James Bond. Oh, okay. Good morning to Paulette from Ireland. He's got that Irish hair, right? He definitely has that Henry VIII hair. So, yeah. Let's see. Any other thoughts on this topic, guys? Harry's looking very, very dapper. That biscuit, he looks like that biscuit. Yeah. Straight from the oven, warm. Definitely, to me. So, I'll just, like I said, continue. This one, though, is it for me. Like, where's GQ? Where's Vogue? Like, they should put him on the cover of Vogue. I know they had one man on the cover of Vogue, I think once or twice. But Harry could easily accompany Meghan on the cover of Vogue, and he could be the cover of GQ and any of the men's magazines, because this look is, his swag is all of that. And this is one of the most recent photos that I found of Harry. So, thoughts, guys? Any thoughts? And back to our our cover. But our cover today is a little bit different. I switched some things around. But I do like the way Harry looks on this cover. So just sticking with that theme of Harry, that black on black on black, the tone on tone on tone, that glow that he has a tan. His skin is looking like it's being cared for. And like the way those pants fit, the jacket fits, the shirt, all of it. The shoes are you can see that, like it's hard to see black in a black background, and those shoes are glowing. They are shined up, skin is glowing, and so is she. And he's got her, like you can tell he's like, okay, I'm with, this one is mine. And we love each other. I agree with you. Meghan bring her love and polish, Harry up body and soul. Amen. Like, yes, we should all be so lucky. I'm sure some of you are. Some of you are so lucky. And what they bring to the world. And like we said earlier, how the narrative is changing. What do you guys think? Should they go back to the UK? Should they bring some of that glow? Like, and I've seen it on multiple shows in passing, because I don't typically dig in unless like Dr. Shola or someone like that is on. But, Dr. Shola was on this week, one of the shows, and there was a poll asking that question, should Harry come back? And they seem to focus more on Harry. Now I'm seeing more about, like, more focus on, well, it wasn't a royal tour, but it looked like a royal tour, and I think, they could have done a lot for the monarchy, and mistakes were made. So the language is changing a bit, in my mind. That smile, Karen says that smile, and the swag always get me every time. I just wanted him to meet his match, and he did. Princess Meghan, confidence, confidence, confidence. And Mina's like, okay, Mina, I hear you. And Lola's like, How come? Why don't you guys think they should go back? Is this a rhetorical question? Why does the squad think that Harry and Meghan should not return to that island? That wicked smile. Yeah, that wicked. Behind the heart, it's hard to see. So, like Princess Diana, absolutely. And that's where we enter the territory of the butterfly, right? Any more comments? Like, should they? I should have put up a poll. I have to learn how to do that in this particular software. Karen's like, no. No. Nobody, any votes for yes? As long as you're not a troll, please don't make me, today. But yeah, so it seems like the consensus is that no, you guys don't want Harry to return and Meghan to return to the UK. So, we all know why. I mean, I don't even have to pretend like that's going to be a question. So let's get into it. Let me see. Did I have another? Let me check this real quick and see what I had prepared. Is this the one we went over? Hold on one second. Let me shut this one off. Yeah, we don't want that one. Let me shut this one off. Okay. So we'll go straight to the next slideshow. Let's see. Hello, no please, says Sharon. Don't go back. They are CEOs. If they go back, they'll be janitors. Yeah. Yeah, there is that. Charles, he wanted a slim down monarchy, and they slimmed it down. And so now they have, Catherine not showing up because of her, alleged illness, right? And William not showing up, really. And he's, whatever his reason is. And Prince Charles dealing with his illness and not being able to show up. And I heard recently that Princess Beatrice is assuming Kate's duties. Have you guys heard that? Karen says all tours are going to be like royal tours because that's what they are. They absolutely are. And we know that the Princess of Nigeria, right, is, yeah, from her kingdoms that are older than that particular kingdom. She has her own title. And we had a debate last night about whether or not she should relinquish her title. Was that last night? Anyway, the consensus was no. She should not relinquish the UK title. Connie Bomer, hello. How are you? So I came up with this, again, on the Monarch butterfly. It is giving so much. So I came up with this thumbnail that, we call them on YouTube. And it looks like, to me, the Monarch butterfly looks a bit foreboding, and Meghan is standing there. We understand that she's just left a funeral. But this one is another juxtaposition. This is the juxtaposition of Meghan and the Monarch, right? Meghan and the Monarchy. So I prepared a slideshow that has to do with this very theme. And for all you hip hop fans out there, I know there aren't many, but this is actually a really interesting intersection between what Kendrick Lamar said on his To Pimp a Butterfly album. So if you're not, hopefully by the end, you will at least have a healthy respect for and maybe be open to listening to some, like, if you can stand some of the language. And he's from Compton, and he has had lots of people that he knows experience, early death and other things. So, let's see. I don't think Harry will go back to the racist royals family and media. He will not put his family ever. So he won't. I don't think he will either. I think Meghan would have to. I think if Charles asked him to, he might come back for a short time. If Charles said that my health depends on it, I need you to take over this for this reason. I think Meghan is such a supportive person that she would support him in that. And she might go, she might not go with him. But at least I could see him showing up for duties and being like traveling to back and forth between the countries. I don't know that they would ever live there. But I think from my perspective, and you guys can let me know if you think this is true, I think Harry wants his dad alive. No matter how, Prince Charles allegedly seems to treat him in the media space. I'm not going to see you. I'm going to see you for 45 minutes. That's the monarch, right? That is a symptom of the monarch. And the monarch, not the monarchy, that's the symptom of him being, and his interpretation of what a monarch is, right? He's gone through that whole bloody process of consuming, breaking down the caterpillar, turning it into something that he will become, and metamorphosizing into a completely different creature. So the caterpillar is the food of the butterfly. It is the thing that the butterfly uses to turn itself into what it will eventually become. It's no longer going to be slow and peaceful and an herbivore. It is now going to be a carnivorous insect that is also very beautiful. And we understand that allegedly Charles looks often and has been accused of, King Charles, of wanting the spotlight on him, wanting to be seen. And butterflies, we see how they show up looking like they want to be seen. Karen says, keep all titles. She deserves, not worthy of it. Why not? Why not her, just like everyone else? Yeah, I mean, that's been the main argument. That's been the consensus. That in this space, the squad seems to agree that she shouldn't relinquish anything, right? And I said from my perspective, I don't know, she's made the choice already, it looks like. My mom would say about me that I'll cut off my nose. I would probably have just said, take them. I don't care. I'm still, and then it doesn't really matter much to me right at this point, since she's been bestowed with the title of Crown Princess in all these regions by these kings, right? So, yes, it seems like Professor Zinzi, get in line, get on the bus. And I am, I just want to hear different perspectives. And you guys you've won that. Like, you have figured that thing out, and we'll go with that, right? So you guys say, what do you say? Lola Love says, that ship has sailed. Harry will not go back to help because he's simply too busy and has his own business contractual relationships. Yeah, that may happen. It looks like that's the way it is right now, right? I think the thing that I think about is Harry has so much of Diana. And also, though, there was that whole Diana, I'm not going to say that she was sacrificed, allegedly, right? But that red in that painting, that is like, in my mind, that's a part of it. Had Diana had security, we would be in a different place. Because if you believe in the butterfly, again, there we go again, another one. If you believe in the butterfly effect, everything has a causality and is related to everything else. The fact that you show up in this space today and drink your coffee the way you drink your coffee, and it's going to determine what you'll say to your friends or your partners, or at what time, and how you do it. And so that's what the butterfly effect talks about. Again, back the butterfly, right? So we have that effect. And so I don't know, like, I'm not convinced yet, because I know that Harry also, he's not a boy. He's not naive anymore. He has gone through his own process of becoming a kind of butterfly too, right? He is metamorphosized into the man that he is. And he's also the son of Diana, right? So would he go back in a small way, not to live, but to do anything? Let's see. Kathy says, just jumping in here, we bear in mind the lifespan of a butterfly, as beautiful as they may be. Absolutely. Does it not say Duchess of Sussex on Archie's birth certificate? I believe it does. It absolutely does. Yes. I think they said it at a press conference. We all know what happened to Princess Diana was no accident. That's a scary thought, right? That potentially it was no accident. And what did it sow? What kinds of seeds got sown? The boys didn't have a mother. And that impact we all see. From the walking behind of the casket/coffin to, Harry's alleged use of coping mechanisms that are, sometimes in the liquid form. And yeah, like, all of this was his kind of medication, in my mind, to cope with the loss of his mother. What do you get from, like, someone squeezing your thigh or your knee after your mother's gone? No, but you don't get to wail and be held by your father? For me, that's wild. Let's see. If the title is given up, will that not have an impact on Archie? I think not. I think because he is Prince Harry, was born, someone said Prince by uterus. Like, he came out of the royal womb, is what I heard the UK people talking about yesterday. That Archie will absolutely have that. I think Harry will not go to work for his dad. First his brother, and Camilla don't like it. That's true. And you're using very kind language, Connie, that they don't like him, and that is absolutely true. So I'm going to see if I can move on a little bit to the slideshow, and so you'll see what I prepared for today. Let's see. All right. To Pimp a Butterfly, the Monarch's life cycle. Welcome to a deeply introspective episode of the Sussex Studio Experience podcast. Today, we embark on a transformative journey through the stages of a butterfly's development, drawing parallels to the remarkable evolution of Duchess Meghan Markle amidst the challenges she faced with the royal family. Join us as we unravel the metaphorical cocoon she emerged from, forever changed and radiant. All right, would you guys agree with that? Like, she went through her own transformative process. So Meghan, when she went in, to that, the cocoon of the monarchy, if you will, she was one person, right? She was one being. And in my mind, it's my belief that she did not come out the same person at all, right? She was also transformed. The sweet, gentle, loving, and I'm not saying that she's not. She's still all of those things. But war will leave marks. Trauma leaves marks. There are traces of that trauma, and she had to come out stronger, unfortunately, because I don't believe that people should become strong just so they can say they're strong and have to deal with trauma. That's just me, right? And so she went through that process of that, her own metamorphosis, her own cocoon of trauma while she was there, and experienced, in her words, SI, right? She had thoughts about self-harm and ending herself. And so that leaves, like I said, that leaves scars. Let's see. Harry will help with the Commonwealth. Not going back to do duty with the royals. Okay. Connie says, I agree. Plus, it would be dangerous for Harry and Meghan to go back. Absolutely. I do not endorse Meghan and those kids going back. I endorse what Harry wants, right? Whatever Harry wants is what I endorse, whatever they decide. Karen says, where did it go? Hold on. I just saw it. I know they won't want to the title now that Princess Meghan is bestowed titles. Yeah, they probably won't want to take it of her own that's real and higher than all of theirs. Absolutely true. I don't think so. Maybe at one time, says Lola Love, but not now. Harry has moved on. He doesn't need them. And Mina says, yes, that makes sense. So Meghan went through this process of trauma, like we all do, but hers was deeper and heavier, and public, right? And so the world witnessed, while at the same time, simultaneously, these newspapers are printing this, I'm going to call it garbage, that is designed to not give her any kindness or compassion, to break, allegedly to break the Duchess without regard for her as a human being, right? And let's see. Yeah, so she went through this process, and even as she's going through it, she was still showing up for the monarchy. Even as she's pregnant with her child, she's still showing up and doing, her obligations to the crown, even at the point of not wanting to exist anymore, allegedly, right? So the egg embrace, part 1. So, is it the Robert Frost poem that says nature's first green is gold, right? You're born and you're like gold to your parents. Typically, you're born and everyone comes and they look at you and everything is so sweet and all of that. So, the egg, embracing potential. In the first stage of a butterfly's development, it begins as an egg embodying the potential for growth and transformation. Similarly, Duchess Meghan's journey began with endless possibilities as she entered the royal family, with optimism and grace. However, the cracks in her facade soon emerged as she encountered hostility and discrimination. Kendrick Lamar's track Wesley's Theory reflects this stage, with the line, "Money trees is the perfect place for shade," symbolizing the allure of royal lifestyle and masking the challenges. And not only masking the challenges, but that was a broken crown. Whatever crown she wore for a day while she was being married, she had it looked like she was literally, the monarchy was literally trying to break her into allegedly a million little pieces that could never be put back together. And when people deal with mental health challenges, it's a really tough thing, depression, right? And people think often that depression is something that's easy to fix. It is not. It is pervasive. And if it's deep enough, we understand that we've seen people, some of us in our own lives, I've seen, people who said, I've had enough with this life and decided to take a different path, right? And we didn't want that for her. So while she was going through this stuff, we recognized it, right? Game recognized game. And we were out here as the Sussex Squad doing everything we could to shore her up. And I think, at least in part, I think that some of that worked, right? And so I think Meghan had to, during this trauma, figure out a way to come out of this thing in a way that she would be whole and yet not scarred, right? And her scars are so beautiful, right? She has probably even more compassion, and she's going to take care of those kids. You're not going to see those pictures of those kids if she has anything to do with it. Because what's the media going to do to those kids? And you guys might be right. Because if that would be a part of the bargain, that Harry had to show the faces of his children, I think that deal would never work. Because he's not going to put his children through the same thing that he went through. Like, they're not going to be food for the butterfly, right? So next slide. The larva facing adversity. As the butterfly's journey progresses, it enters the larval stage, facing challenges and obstacles on its path to maturity. Duchess Meghan similarly confronted intense public scrutiny and vilification, enduring relentless attacks from the media and the royal establishment. Kendrick Lamar's You captures the anguish and despair of this stage with the haunting line, "Loving you is complicated, loving you is complicated, loving you is complicated." Meghan struggles to reconcile her public persona with her inner turmoil, mirrors the emotions of the larval stage, right? So in the larval stage, that's what they have to deal with. And so we saw Meghan's transformation in front of us. And I think that, again, with that reporter, when he asked her, "How are you?" And she welled up. And she knew, though, to cry in public would be her undoing. You have everything. She has everything. Really? Did she have everything? Oh, no, he says, "Oh, gosh, you got me emotional again." Okay, I'm going to take a pause. Everybody take a deep breath. I'm going to take a deep breath, right? I'm going to inhale goodness and exhale all the bad stuff, right? All that bad energy. Because we're halfway through. This is only a couple more slides. Because we know, Novi, we know that there's a happy ending. Okay. But yeah, and when we think about that, if we think about our own parallel journeys and how we rose up as the squad, and we saw, to me, the Nigerian kings and the people of Nigeria, because I'm sure the wives and the other people in the kingdom also were like, "Hey, they're coming. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? What can we do? Let's show them love, 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 love," right? And so that was a real thing. So next slide. The pupa, transformation and growth. In the pupal stage, the butterfly undergoes a profound transformation, shedding its old identity to emerge as something entirely new. Duchess Meghan's decision to step back from royal duties marked a pivotal moment in the journey, as she reclaimed her agency and pursued a life of authenticity, and purpose. Kendrick Lamar's "I Love Myself," Meghan's transformation reflects the resilience and strength of the human spirit as she embraced her scars and emerged as a brilliant, changed individual. And these letters on my screen are microscopic, so pardon my reading. Yeah. Again, Kendrick Lamar, he's a prophet if you can deal with the language. But sometimes brutal language is necessary. Allegedly, they had no qualms about brutalizing our Duchess, right? And for me, I draw strength from music, and I draw strength from people who I know vibe with me and who are down for me, who are down with me. And yeah, to me, this is a perfect intersection. She embraced her scars. She didn't come out of this, bloodless. She didn't come out of this scarless. Even if you don't see them physically, like her skin, but you saw them in her face, you saw them in her eyes, you saw them in her scars and her body language, right? And yet here we are, holding her up, protecting her, loving her, telling her story, and supporting her in every way that we can. Because we recognize what they did to her. We saw what a $200 fee did. Like, oh, and I'm sure they will never mail that document in again. They will always take it to, somebody will make a trip to Sacramento to take the paperwork, the licensure paperwork, to the Capitol, or to where the capital C, where the paperwork goes. And any of us who have licenses, we mail it in. Perhaps they'll just try and do it online. I don't know if there was that ability, but sometimes people just prefer to do things that way, because when you give people access, you never know what happens electronically. So they mailed it in. But yeah, she came out with her scars, and they are beautiful scars, right? She has scars, I'm sure, from birthing her children. And those are, scars that we get from life. And they changed her forever. She will never be that, that person that she was. And to me, she's so, I'm not glad that she had to go through it. I think it's nuts. I don't think that people should have to go through trauma and come out, beautifully scarred. That's bunk. And you guys are going to put her through it, then we're going to walk with her too. Right? So the next slide, guys, let's see. The butterfly, radiance and freedom. Finally, the butterfly emerges from its cocoon, radiating beauty and freedom as it takes flight into the world. Duchess Meghan's metamorphosis into a symbol of grace, resilience, and empowerment mirrors the majestic beauty of the butterfly. Kendrick Lamar's All Right serves as a rallying cry for hope and perseverance with the line, "We gon' be all right, we gon' be all right, we gon' be all right." Meghan's journey embodies the triumph of the human spirit over adversity, inspiring us all to embrace our potential for growth and for transformation. Because in this battle squad, we gon' be all right. The Duchess is gonna be all right. Those kings make sure that she gonna be all right. And he gonna be all right. Lily's gonna be all right. And Archie's gonna be all right. Harry's gonna be all right. And Meghan's gonna be all right, Yes, can I get an I am Meghan Markle in the chat? I am Meghan Markle forever. Squaddies made sure. And those kings are in the squad, guys. I mean, they are in the squad. They are forever squaddies, right? That's what I think. I think the kings are forever squaddies. Haters can hate all they want to, but when you are loved up on, the kings did the same thing that the Duchess did for Harry. They loved up on Meghan, and we saw her transformed in those moments that she was in their presence. We saw her being filled up by love and shored up by a Nigerian military that has so much power. Like, okay, come on, try it. Who gonna try it? Who gonna try it? Who gonna test me, boo? Right? Like, nobody. You guys have weapons, and you have the weapon of love, and, you have the titles, you have the oil, too, that we need. We're not gonna test you too much over there. Right? Connie Balmer says, I am Meghan Markle, Princess of Nigeria. Mama Jane says, amen, amen, amen. So, yeah. So, this is the next one. And so you can see the butterfly. This is the one that I thought looked the most like Meghan to me. She is royal. So, this is just a thank you for, putting up with me in this, as I did a deep dive into this segment for our Duchess, because I think she deserves it. I'm going to go back to today's slide. Comments, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this part of this episode today? Did it work for you? What would you like to see more of? Was it too introspective? Can you guys give me some feedback? Can I get an I am Meghan Markle? Can I get a like, guys? If you like this, if you don't like it, can you let me know? I do appreciate it, because I just wanted to show you guys that from my perspective, we are Meghan Markle, right? We are Kendrick Lamar. We are a community. We are a squad. We see you. And in the end, even if we have to go to battle, allegedly, and we have to, with the media, right? With the radicalized media, we gonna be all right, right? We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right, and because we're going to do the work. We are smart. We're brilliant. I'm not even going to say smart. The squad is brilliant. The squad is thoughtful. The squad is compassionate. And members of the squad, we are warriors. We are absolutely, if you've seen Black Panther and if you know anything about the history, we are, a lot of us are female. Don't mess around, because we have it within us, and we're not going to do physical harm. And what we do in these podcast streets, what we do in these Twitter streets, I'm not on Twitter, but what some of us do in these Twitter streets and Facebook streets, we hold the Duchess down. And sometimes she shouts us out, and I understand, she's met with squaddies, and I saw, I wish I remembered the squaddie's name, who was at the Invictus Games. Was that last year or year before last? And showed up, and she said, "Harry, Sussex squad," and he went over there, I don't know where he was running to, but he was like, okay, y'all had us, now I'm gonna have you. And he gave them a moment. And Anita talked about when she was, showing up for Meghan and standing there waiting to see if she could get a glimpse. And she said, "Sussex squad!" And she rolled her window down and smiled. And that is a moment that she will have for the rest of her life, right? And it is, Joseph Bruno. And this work has given me purpose. It has given me a kind of freedom. It has given me focus. It has made me think about connections. If I were not doing this podcast with you guys, I wouldn't be thinking about butterflies or pimping butterflies and intersections, the intersectionality between butterflies and, hip hop artists, which is also something that's really popping in pop culture right now, like the whole Kendrick Lamar and what happened with Drake. If you haven't watched or read any of that, I'm sure your kids can if you haven't, you will get so much energy out of them if you just bring this subject up. What do you think about Kendrick and Drake? Oh, these kids are reading. They are doing deep dives into, alliteration, entendres. They're talking about, can you imagine these kids talking about double entendre, triple entendre, quadruple entendre, and going in and looking up the references for the citations that Kendrick used in his work. And I'm like, if Kendrick is making these kids get out here and read, right? And so he made me get out here and put references because I wanted to do that intersection, right? Yes, Joseph, they treated Meghan like Nigerian royalty. Absolutely. Barno. And then the squad is a power to reckon with. It is. And that's why they want our lead. I have a thing about them asking who's the leader of the squad. As a member, an African descended woman, as a African American woman, why do you need to know? What do you need to know who the leader of the squad is for? We know. We know what has happened to our leaders, right? So we're all leaders. We are all leaders. What can you do with, 1 million leaders? Not too much, right? I am Princess Meghan from the Oprah interview. She gave me strength. I love my girl. She's doing right. don't have to do no more just because you are power, Princess Meghan. Say that. The squad is on guard 24/7. Don't try us. We got receipts. We absolutely do. And we remember, right? And we've talked about how, Fred Hampton, the 21-year-old, was executed. And what did he do? He was trying to bring together, a rainbow coalition. And Jesse Jackson took that slogan, Rainbow Coalition, but he was trying to unite in the United States black people and poor white people in order to get their needs met. So, started a free breakfast program where they were literally feeding the kids themselves. If you have that in your school, thank Fred Hampton. If you've ever been to the hospital and had a patient's bill of rights, thank Fred Hampton. Thank those people who did those things and demanded that so people didn't show up in the hospitals and not get care. We are the same. We are showing up in that same way that we're used to showing up and used to seeing our ancestors show up. And if you're from, lots of countries around the world, right? We've seen our leaders in this country, Medgar Evers, in this country, Fred Hampton, in this country, Malcolm X, in this country, Dr. MLK, who was known as the most hated man in the United States. We made that a holiday. Even, Arizona Senator John McCain was against it. Look it up. That song we sing, Happy Birthday to Ya. Stevie Wonder wrote that for Martin Luther King's holiday to become a holiday. That's where that song comes from. That's the one we sing at our birthday parties. Because Stevie Wonder did that, and that song helped to get MLK's holiday enshrined for now. Hopefully forever, but for now in this country, we did that. We did that. Our parents did that. Our grandparents did that. And Stevie Wonder wrote a song called Happy Birthday that people around the world, even if they don't know the origin of that song, we sing that song. And if you look at the lyrics, and let me see if I can pull them up. Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday song. How are you guys feeling right now? Am I on one today? Let's see. I'm almost there. Stevie Wonder. I'm just pulling them up on my phone. Wonder Happy Birthday. I saw them sing it to Mandela. Happy Birthday lyrics. All right. So I'm going to read if I can. I'm almost there. Genius. They're good. All right. So here's the song. And this is all related, right? You can see, it doesn't make much sense. There ought to be a law against anyone who takes offense at a day in your celebration, because we all know in our minds that there ought to be a time that we can set aside to show just how much we love you. And I'm sure you would agree. It couldn't fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, right? So Stevie Wonder wrote that. We did that. Just like we are doing this. We are, whether or not our names are immortalized in stone, we are the ones, like President Obama said, that we've been waiting for. It is every day that Meghan is able to do her work, we play a small and a big part of that. Because we were the squads. I know she looked online. I'm sure she heard Tina and Michelle. She probably goes back and listens to old Apple Podcasts when she needs some inspiration, right? Because if it shored me up, right, when I'm out here in these podcast streets listening at that point, and I'm like in my feelings, and at that point I'm also on Twitter, just trying to spending probably far too much time on tweeting, here I am. Just stuff to fight back. Guys, sorry. Fight back against the treatment of our Duchess, right? I'm on Twitter and doing what I can do so that she understands if she has to look on this space. There's going to be some words that she's going to see fighting back against these trolls and using evidence, right? Being smart about it, being methodical about it, point by point by point by point by point. And then, doing the electric slide, doing the electric boogaloo, turning up, because that tweet felt so good. Like, that tweet took your argument down. And everybody in the world who cares to look at this online can see. The squad takes that garbage down. And so they thought that they could, allegedly they thought that they could use the media to break this African descended woman, right? And they didn't win. We are still out here. And now that she's a crown princess of Nigeria, what can you do now? You see their military. And do you really want to mess with? Is that why the language is changing, right? Is that why the language is changing around Meghan? Because you saw these three kings, not of Orient are, but these three kings from Nigeria of oil are, they have lots and lots of power. Power to talk to other people around the world and say, hey, let's make it hard for them over there because they're messing with our girl. OPEC has done it. Members of OPEC have done it for less, just because they felt like it. I saw something. Connie Balmer said, once a year, black people from everywhere have 3 days have a 3-day party. Hair braiding dance in my town. Whites love this party. It started today. Really? Connie, you're not turning up. That's amazing. That is amazing. I went to eat jollof rice and fish. And do you know, I don't know if I've talked about this, I probably have. Do you know that when you look at the American cuisine, when you look at soul food, what do we eat? We eat dirty rice. We eat red beans and rice. And it looks exactly like jollof, right? Because we brought that stuff with us. The Puerto Ricans have their version, right? And when you look at gumbo, with gumbo, as we call it, you eat gumbo like that, fish and okra and, on top of rice. And it's red and it's muddy and it is got onion, right? And it's got tomato. It's got a tomato base like so much West African food because we remembered and we brought our food with us and we used the stuff in this country to make the food mirror the food that we were used to. And we've created most of the food in these United States. Like even I saw a story about buffalo wings today. And I'll have to look him up again. The black guy who invented them had lines. That was the part of the chicken that people threw out. That was the part that nobody, just like oxtail. If anybody eats oxtails, right? That's the same thing. They were discarded. My mom would be like, I can't even afford oxtail anymore because everybody's eating it. We call like certain parts of the pig fat back. They call it pork belly, right? So you're going to make it highbrow and make it expensive because you've discovered something that we've been eating that was also discarded in this country that could be used to flavor lots of things, right? So the food in this country, when you see the spiciness of African American food, that Tennessee hot chicken that I've talked about, that was a black woman. When you see hot chicken places around wherever you are, that's a black woman's recipe who's not getting paid. Just like the black dude who created buffalo wings, not getting paid. His family started a new business to try and reclaim it. I'll have to, with the mumbo sauce, I'll have to look up his name because I wasn't even aware of that, right? Guys, buy your tickets and come join us in September. Check the community page for information. We're going to have an epic time. Okay, right. Okay. So, yeah. Our Duchess, if we hadn't had her back, where would she be? Where would we be if we were not in the squad? Like, Meghan has made, I think we've all become butterflies in the end. If you agree with that, put a 1 in the chat. That's the theme and my thesis for today. Meghan's journey has transformed our journey, and in that process, we have all turned into butterflies. We've gone through the fire, we've gone through all the wars, wherever we are warriors, keyboard warriors, and we're different. Then if they had left her alone, we probably would have admired from afar and just been like, oh, she's such a nice, beautiful, kind. But no, they had to try us, right? There's a 1. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, because I think that's something that I didn't think about going into this lesson plan, right? Thank you, Novi. I didn't think that that was going to be a thing, right? Because I understand what the butterfly does to the caterpillar. And I'm like, well, it's also still, it's part of its, it has to, right? It has to. Now that you mention it, I'm going to the party tomorrow for oxtail, right? I don't know how much they are in Switzerland, but they are not affordable over here anymore. And then my mom said it used to be like throwaway parts. And yeah, no, not anymore, right? So Meghan's journey is a spiritual journey. Yeah, it absolutely, and in her having said spiritual journey, I think that she has taken us on one too. So, any other thoughts? I think I'm going to conclude with that thought. But how did you guys like the episode today? Put a lot of work into it for you guys because I want to be thoughtful. I call myself, this is space of transformation and learning, because I think we all deserve that, right? Sharon says she just finished eating oxtails. Really? It's a mixed party. Africa, Jamaica. What about Black Americans? Are we over there too, Connie? Are you guys? I know all the whole world, they talk so bad about us, and we just be trying to live our lives over here. Like, dang, ain't we been through it? Like, and then we have these diaspora wars. We're like, oh no, not again. But I don't know if they'll have gumbo. But if you've never had gumbo, that would be amazing. I see these places popping up all the time now, these gumbo spots. And that's definitely Black American food that is influenced by, okra is my favorite vegetable. You don't know that. Okra is my favorite vegetable. I like it slimy. I like it fried. I like it. I do, whatever. I had my uncle once was like, April, I thought you were too bougie. And I'm like, you know what? First of all, I'm not bougie. And second of all, like, it's in my DNA. Okra is in my DNA, and I had no idea for a long time that it originated in Africa, just like watermelon. And I'm like, that's another food that we're gonna make a stereotype about watermelon. Like, really? Well, so here's another story before we go about watermelon. Princess Meghan transformed the British monarchy and is still transforming it. The power of Princess Meghan. Absolutely. Thank you, Connie, for saying that you think this podcast is beautiful. So, watermelon, right? We brought it with us from West Africa. We didn't mean to bring it. We were just out there doing our work, with our crops, planting our seeds, whatever we were doing when we got taken. And some of us had it on our bodies, right? And so that's like a magic seed, because that's the food your mother fed you. So we bring it in our hair. We hold on to, maybe that's the only thing we were able to hold on to on that ship while our ancestors are in the belly. So we bring it over here. Somebody plants a seed and it grows in the southern soil like magic, right? And they take care of it. They plant it, they take care of it, and it has more seeds once it grows. They can continue to pass these seeds out. And in the meantime, when that watermelon is new and it's fresh and it is ripe, you, having been kidnapped from your parents, from your grandparents, from everybody that you have something from your family, this watermelon, right? And when you eat it, you can go home for a few minutes. And of course you pass this out to people in any way you can, and it becomes ubiquitous, right? And then after enslavement, Black Americans controlled the watermelon market. So if you wanted a watermelon, you had to, just like, Nigerians control their oil. It was a kind of, and the way to grow it. Like, we had, even around rice planting, we controlled all of the thinking and because nobody else knew how to plant rice. So same thing with the watermelon. And so we control that market, and we still do in some parts in the South. So what did they do? They made it a stereotype. Anything that Black people have done in this country, for the most part, has been made a stereotype. And then at the same time, it's been commodified, and it's been attempted to be, taken. And so now we sit in public and we publicly eat our watermelon and we smile because this is a gift of Africa. This is a gift of our ancestors. This survived the Middle Passage. So make your jokes and don't eat watermelon, right? But we going to be all right. We're going to eat watermelon. Kendrick Lamar also has a song about sitting outside eating chicken or wherever and watermelon and all the other. Those foods that taste amazing, right? So, because we going to be all right, right? That's the song for today. Kendrick's We Going to Be All Right with Meghan. If you get a minute, pop it on. It's got a lot of lessons. All of his music is infused with lessons. He got a Pulitzer Prize, which is a journalist prize in 2018 for his writing, for his journalism around, period. He got a Pulitzer. So if you're getting a Pulitzer, it's not only your own community recognizing you, but it's also the larger community that's saying, okay. And then, so I don't know why Drake would step to him, right? So I just don't know why he would. Let's see. Our Professor Zinzi needs a little more subscribers so we can gift her super chats. Well, thank you for that thought. Yeah. So, is that pickaninnies? Let's see, did I miss something? Pickaninnies, is that like... Yeah, so we embrace all of it. In this country right now, Black Americans embrace every single thing about ourselves right now. Turn up culture, pimp culture, and it's not something that we aspire to, but it's something that was done and glorified in movies. And you see these guys walking around not wanting to be that, but there is an image that Snoop kind of, I think, definitely Snoop has that kind of image, and he's never done that for an occupation. But if you're going to make it, you're going to take it and say this is a negative thing about us. Okay, so we're going to turn it into something, and you can that we're going to weaponize it ourselves, and you can no longer use this as a weapon against us. Professor, where's your family from originally? I'm hearing an accent, and you were talking about that. I have lived all over the world. I'll say this in the space. I was in a relationship with a man from South Africa who was a member of a Xhosa tribe, right? And I've had relationships with people from all over. My family is originally from, I don't know, I've not done my DNA. I haven't. But my family is originally from Arkansas. When we got off the ship, we were sent to part of my family's from Arkansas, right? And they were in Arkansas for hundreds of years, cotton farmers, working on these cotton plantations. So the jeans, all the things that you're wearing, or not all, but lots of it, how we transformed that product and the indigo dye that we brought with us, or that process of that, in your jeans. And also rice farmers. My family, they were rice farmers in Arkansas too. And my mother's line goes back to what we know, 1830. It goes way back before that. But my matriarchal line is a line of Cherokee Native Americans or indigenous people. My grandmother's grandmother was in the Trail of Tears. She was born in 1830, and President Andrew Johnson kicked them all off their land and sent them to, basically to camps to live in Oklahoma. And she ended up in Arkansas and married my grandmother's her daughter married my grandmother's father. So her daughter she married a black man, and her daughter, they were all mixed. Back then they were calling my family members mulatto. If you look at the census, and a lot of them could have passed, but that's only because of, it wasn't voluntary. Just like you see the Louisiana Creoles and all that. My family had been for generations harmed to the point where a lot of the Africanness was not visible except to mostly black people. And like in these later generations, it has been reclaimed. So like lots of families are getting lighter. My family's getting darker. So is that what you mean? I gave you a whole like, yeah. My matriarchal line goes back to, like I said, Jane, a Native American woman who was born in 1830. Andrew Jackson said, "Nope, you can't be here." And then, there's that. And so, yeah, so we just, in my family, we've always been lovers of the ancestors. Like I feel like I was born on the day my grandma started telling me stories about her life. Her daddy owned, he was a cowboy. Like if you haven't checked out Beyonce's Cowboy Carter, my grandma's dad was a cowboy, and he would go tame wild horses to make money, to buy property, and yeah, so that's what he did. And he could take a lasso and put it under his horse's foot, and the horse wouldn't move. And I think we've talked about like the Fulani. So we probably hail from Fulani people is what I'm thinking, because he knew all of those, and those things get passed down. We may hail from Fulani. I can't be 100% sure, but I know that part was passed down and remembered and used, and now it's been all over Marlboro cigarette packages when that's nothing to do with the Marlboro man. That's the Fulani people who came here and did that thing because they were kidnapped, and that's how. So I think I've said enough, guys. What do you guys think? I feel like I've been any other thoughts? So I've lived all over. I've lived in Ohio, I've lived in California, I've lived in Atlanta, I've lived, I've been in South Africa, I've been in Thailand, I've been in Denmark, I've been in Jamaica, I did a study abroad in Jamaica, I did a study abroad in Ecuador. So my accent is kind of based on my experience, so you'll hear a little bit of this or that pop out. You might hear some Compton, some LA, or some Oakland, because I'm up in the Bay, and like that DJ Mustard thing, that new song. Have you guys at least heard the song? They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. I don't know if you've heard it. If you haven't, like, it is going wild all over the world with that anthem that Kendrick made to defeat Drake. So, let's see. Thank you. You talk a good food. You have been fed well. Yes, absolutely. The Fulani people are very beautiful, tall people. My mom was 6'1". My grandfather was and her brothers were all very, very tall. I unfortunately did not get that, but I walk like a tall person. I've always believed I used to think I was 6'1" too. I'm the same way when it comes to my family tree on my daddy's side, back to 1803. Yeah, I still need to figure out my mama's side of the family. Yeah, we can do some of that. Like, if you go to the Mormon church in this, all over the world at this point, they are the archives that I used and got the most success with. I haven't been to Utah. I thought about going because I got stuck. And to trace the African side is the hardest. Like, I can trace the European roots. I can trace, but to trace the African roots is what I really want to do on paper, to see, like, how that process happened. But I know we came from some strong stuff, right? Yay, Jamaica! Yes, the parties on the beach in Jamaica. Yeah, and I'm not like Drake. I'm not trying to pretend a Jamaican accent. But the parties, I did meet this guy once, I was trying to get my hair braided, and he was like, I'll take you, gal. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what's your name? He's like, you can call me Freaky J. I'm like, Freaky J? I'm not calling you Freaky nothing. What name your mama call you? He's like, Raja. And I'm like, okay, Raja, you're going to be Raja today. But anyway, hopefully that was okay. But I was like, look, boy, I'm not calling you no Freaky nothing. You don't know me like that. I just want my hair braided. And, but yeah, I studied at this school, marine biology, called Hofstra. And beautiful, learned about, was it the White Witch of Rose Hall? Any of you from Jamaica will know about that story, who killed, was it 2 of her husbands, and then the third one ended up taking her out. But I was like, what? And there were 3 palm trees. I think maybe one of them is gone. I have all this like knowledge about a whole bunch of nonsense stuff. But yeah, the White Witch of Rose Hall, I think it was. So look that up if you have a minute. But I didn't get to explore enough of the people. I had to sneak off campus when I wanted to see, and I wanted to get a vibe. I had to sneak away a little bit to try to get with the locals. And that wasn't easy because they had us, kind of confined to campus. And then same Ecuador, though I had a lot more freedom. I was able to like get on the bus and go, we had to get on the bus and it was like so cheap. And I would get like not a biscuit. I would get like a little loaf of bread. It was like 3 cents in the morning for breakfast. And I'm like, this is so cheap. Oh my goodness. And the bus was like either a nickel or a dime. It was so cheap. And they were switching from Ecuadorian currency when I was there into American currency. And now it looks like, things were not bleeding over so much from Colombia, like the gangs, but it looks like now a lot of the gang activity from Colombia has seeped into Ecuador. But it was this little magical place that was so beautiful. And one of my besties is in Denmark. So I went to see her. I may go there this fall. Her mom is getting older and they want me to come. And then my other bestie's from Hong Kong. I've got besties everywhere. So I don't know, you guys don't care about all that. But so, you pick up a little bit of this. You pick up a little bit of that. And my ex-husband, I'll say this. Yeah, he was from one parent Pakistan. The other parent was from Thailand. So we met in college and we were married for, a while and then, we divorced. But so I may have even some of that. I definitely know how to cook Thai food. I think better than him for sure. But yeah, how about you guys? Anybody else? Where are you from? I'm like, before we say goodbye, anybody else want to say where they're from or what they're going to do this weekend, what you're going to eat? This lesson was kind of like, Novi says she got emotional, and it does. It's like, man, this is why we're here. We're here to fellowship. We're here to, I wish I was over there with Connie, and I was able to go to that big party tonight, like for 3 days. That sounds like an African party at Connie, like 3-day party, like a carnival or something, sounds like it's a lot of fun. This sounds like the best time to be over there. So, yeah. Anybody else? Where are you from before we say goodbye? Anybody? Nobody wants to say anything? Really? Really, guys? I'm going to try and plug my computer in. If I can. Otherwise, no. I went to Rose Hall. Yep, you went for a tour there. Okay, that sounds... I would love to have gone there. Hopefully my computer doesn't go off because it's low on power. So I'm going to unplug my mic and plug in the computer. So let me know if you can still hear me. The sound will be different, a little bit different. I'm not close to I need to get my other charger, but I'm not close by it. So, see if I can plug in my mic with this one. 1 second. No. I don't think I can. No, it won't work. So anyway, I had a wonderful time. Yeah, guys, if you get a minute. Oh, St. Lucia. I have a cousin there right now. If you run into Melanie, tell her I said hi. So I'm going to end the podcast. And I want you guys to take good care of yourself. Let me know how you feel. If you get a minute, it would help the channel. Like if you watch some of the videos for a little bit longer. Maybe watch an extra video if you feel like it. And we're almost there. So, Jamaica. You're from Jamaica. Okay. Got it. Jamaica. Ocho, where are you from? Never mind. I'm not going to ask you that, but I've been to Ocho and I've never been to Negril. I would like to go there. But, so as we say goodbye, I may have to do this tomorrow because I think Sunday I've got to go out of town. I don't want to, but I have to. And Karen says, I've traveled a lot too. Love to travel. Me with locals. Yes, the food. Oh, the food. The street food in some of these countries like Thailand. Didn't eat the insects. Love fish balls, right? Yeah, the street food in so many of these places, it is amazing. I remember being in Thailand and eating just like pad thai, basic food at the mall, and the lady like going there every day, and she's like, not too spicy for her. I'm like, I thought I liked my food spicy, but she's like, no, not for her. But yeah, if you like this lesson today and you want more of this, maybe leave a comment if you feel like it. If you want to support the channel, the way you can help is to watch more videos and spend some time just like on the podcast. And I want you to support yourself and your own mental health and take breaks when this stuff gets stressful, because it will. And take deep breaths, use your grounding techniques that we've talked about. Look at happy, shows. You worked in the grill in Ocho Rios in tourism. Okay. One of my friends wants to go to Negril, and I'm like, I want to, but I don't know. Like, I hear some stuff about the wild places that at least Americans go. So if I go, I want to do a B&B. I don't want to do I don't want to do one of those, what do you call them, all-inclusive places. I want to be able to meet with the locals and like spend money where the locals are actually getting money, right? Connie says, thank you, Professor Zinzi. It's been a fantastic podcast. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you showing up. And I was so surprised that so many of you watched the podcast that I did last night. I'm like, oh, it's going to get a few views. It got a lot of views, and hopefully I'm going in the right direction with this pod. I know you guys are all brilliant, and I want to honor your intelligence. I want to honor that community spirit and all of that. Karen says it was great chatting with you. Really, really like it. Nice voice. Thank you. My grandmother used to... Never mind. I won't say that. Anyway, so... just remember, everybody, I am Meghan Markle. I am Meghan Markle. I am Meghan Markle. And also from another great Maya, Dr. Maya Angelou. And still I rise, and still we rise. We are rising together in this space. And finally, our dude for today, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. To the great Kendrick Lamar, that Pulitzer Prize, and that didn't make him. Like, he's of the community, and he loves the community like we do. We love the community. We love Meghan, and that's why we're here. So... until next time, everybody. I hate to say goodbye. But, yeah. We've been on here almost an hour and a half, some of us. So, have a wonderful weekend. Let me know what's up in the chat. And I'm going to say ciao. I need to come up with something else. Maybe I'll say something in a different language to say goodbye. Maybe in different languages. Maybe I'll put something together. All right, I'm going to miss you guys, but I did podcast last night and today, so I may try and podcast tomorrow, and then Sunday, I don't think I'll be able to. Like I said, I'll be on a train going back to SoCal, so goodbye, everyone, and remember, happy birthday to you. Somebody's birthday's got to be this month, right? And that's the origin of that song, right? We will make a song. If you don't say we can have what we say we're gonna make a song, and you are going to be, that music is going to lift us and show us up, and you will be forced to do the thing that we said that we want done in this country and with our Duchess. So, if it's I am Meghan Markle, then that's what it is, but it's going to be something. So, again, everybody, have a wonderful weekend and take care of yourselves, all right? Bye.